I need to go make a cup of tea. Because it's about to get spicy. And I'm just playing. It's not going to get spicy, but... You like that?
Hello?
You're now listening to Love's Diary.
But something tells me you already knew that. You've been trying to get a bad me too. Want to turn up and brag me.
This episode is going to be the things I haven't said out loud. So it took me so long to make this podcast because I was like, I know it's been 3 weeks and I am behind, and I told y'all that I will post weekly, but y'all, I was struggling. I was struggling to find the right topic, the right conversation to have. And at the time when I was originally starting the podcast, I was very much like on fire. I was on fire for Christ at the time. Like, I was not playing about me and my God. I had my little catchy slogan. I'm like, this is going to be about love, life, and all things Christ. And then when I finally put out my first episode, I'm like, y'all, I can't sit right here and be talking about love, life, and all things Christ. And my life is not a reflection of Christ right now. But I got to be honest, this past month and a half, I've been drinking every weekend. A part of me felt ashamed. Not because I was ashamed of being Christian, not because I didn't want people to know, and not because I didn't want this to be a Christian podcast. I just didn't want this to be like all the other Christian podcasts where I sit right here and preach the Bible and I'm a hypocrite. Because I have backslid so far from where I was when I initially was adding that in Christ part. And I think there's a stigma not only in the Christian community, but when people hear the word Christian, they're like, oh, here we go. And I didn't want this to be something that turned people off, but also I'm like, hold on. But I'm being honest, though, and I'm not saying this to glorify sin at all, but I'm saying this to say that where I'm at right now and the journey that I'm on and where I've been isn't where I'm in. I can't fear the judgment of others or move differently in high parts of who I am. And I think sometimes in the Christian community, we would say like, oh, God knows my heart. Whole time we know our heart too, and we know sometimes it don't be with him and we don't be wanting him at the time. Let's be honest, because sometimes when I'm partaking in sin, I know that it's wrong, and yet I still indulge anyway. And that's just the part of my flesh to just be like, this is what I want. Like, God, yes, I want you, but sometimes I want that more, the sin. And I think as Christians, these are conversations that we don't have openly and honestly enough. So yes, these are the things that I have not said out loud. I got so many devices, so much is happening. Do you guys like my jacket? This is my cousin's brand. Let's take a sip. We're not going to do it yet because that's still too hot. I don't want to burn my mouth. I don't want to burn my mouth. But no, on a serious note, conviction has been convicting. I don't even know how to say it. The things that I grieve now looks different. If there's no timeline on the rest of the goals that I have, so I think there's anxiety. Is my preparation enough? Trying so hard to do the right things and to be perfect, it gets stressful. So it's like, okay, forget it. I don't care anymore. So then I allow myself to derail. Have I even accepted this to be true or a reality? Like, oh, why do you feel like sometimes you know and you don't say it? And I feel like sometimes I don't want the pressure that comes with, you said this, but you're doing that. And that's why I feel like in a lot of ways why I left out or I dropped the in all things Christ part is because I felt like too much responsibility because of the pressure, because of the fear of like, oh, shoot, if I mess up or if I say the wrong thing, or like, dang, if I'm representing God poorly, but I'm saying that I'm a woman of God. But it's just certain things, like there's different stages in your life where your vices might change or they might look different. I'm choosing to indulge in this season of my life. Why now? I got so tired of having to defend myself and defend my faith for people who didn't believe or people who wanted to convince me otherwise about who God was or the lack thereof. And it got tiring and it got exhausting. And also it came a lot of shame when I wasn't holding myself to certain standards and I wasn't being perfect. A perfect example of a great sister or a great daughter or a great whatever I needed to be in that moment. And it came so much shame and so much internal conflict and self-hatred to where I was just like, I'm not talking about this. It's easier to not have that conversation about being Christian because then people are going to scrutinize me, or people are going to already have a blinder to who I am. And not just to who I am, but to what I believe. Because sometimes we have a lot of poor representations of what it means to be Christians. I don't need somebody to argue with me God's existence. Sometimes I'm like, I know I ain't got no business doing this. I know I'm not supposed to be doing this, but this is what I want. Sometimes it's like, I want you, but I want this more. I'll get back to you after I'm done having fun or fulfilling my flesh. And not even fulfilling, it's really temporarily. Knowing that you have something that you have to do, but you're choosing not to do it. That's what it feels like while indulging in sin. It's like, I really, 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 really need to do this thing, and I'm going to do this thing, but I'm going to do this thing first. But then something shifted. It didn't feel good when I was indulging. I don't want to keep doing it. I went through a rebellious stage where I'm just like, God, I'm doing everything that you ask. Like, I'm coming to you. I'm begging you. I'm pleading with you. I'm crying about these things. Like, I'm coming to you and I'm not seeing you do anything about it. So in order for me to get your attention, I'm going to do things that I know that you don't like. I felt worse because now I'm like, dang, I knew that I didn't have fulfillment truly in doing that thing. So why did I do it? Like I said, I did it out of rebellion because I wanted expedited answers, relief from what I was feeling or what I was grieving. And I wasn't getting that. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get it doing this. So I'm just a girl trying to find my way back. The things I haven't said out loud, now spoken. Even if it's just a reflection for me to look back on, because the most important relationship that I'm in pursuit of is of God. And sometimes I don't always feel like he's talking to me, or I don't always feel like I know what he's asking me to do. I just feel like sometimes that's not enough. I feel like knowing sometimes isn't enough because you want to feel it, right? You're yearning, or I'm yearning for physical touch sometimes. Whether it's like, God, just send me a person to give me a hug. Like, even if it's through you. And sometimes I hate that there's some things that I want so badly. And sometimes I'm like, God, I might want it more than you. And I made an idol out of it. And I'm like, remove the desire for me to have it entirely. And I think sometimes that desperation for companionship has allowed me to accept the wrong relationships too many times. So there you have it, diary. The things that I haven't said out loud, now said. And now I'm just trying to find my way back. Until next time, love.